course of 3 days, and for the third year running, Girona became the cycling capital of the world by hosting Otter Europe, Costa Brava Girona. Girona is known the world over as a true cycling haven, receiving visitors throughout the year from all over the world, thanks to its pleasant climate and the city's many charms. It is, without a doubt, a perfect region for enjoying this incredible two-wheeled sport. The festival opened its doors in the late afternoon with the opening ceremony. Led by Albert Balcells, director of Otter Europe, Giuseppe Pujols, territorial representative for Girona, Jordi Camps, deputy of the Provincial Council of Girona, and Marta Madrenas, mayor of Girona. Once it had concluded, they all set off to enjoy the festival, discovering the latest products on the cycling market.
Para nosotros tiene un doble objetivo, los dos igual de importantes. Seguramente muchos piensan que es únicamente con el objetivo de hacer que Girona y toda su demarcación pues se vea muy en el mapa y que sea reconocida y que sea reconocible como un sitio muy atractivo donde ir, ¿no? Pero para nosotros que no trabajamos en la línea en cuanto a los visitantes de cuantos más mejor, nosotros trabajamos en la línea de conseguir sectorizar un tipo de visitantes de turismo que es el que a nosotros nos interesa. Este tipo de turismo específico nos interesa muchísimo y por eso trabajamos con intensidad esta situación de la marca en este sentido, ¿no?
Cycling enthusiasts were able to find everything they wanted, thanks to the new products presented by brands. The extensive sports program began that afternoon with the e-Bikes XCO, the best way to get electric bikes up to speed. However, one of the pioneering activities of Otter Europe is Demo Bike. Participating brands made their products available for testing for anyone who requested them on a specially designed circuit. In terms of other sports events, the ever-thrilling Eliminator ensured that all the visitors who headed to the gravity area were more than entertained. The first day was short yet very intense, paving the way for a magnificent weekend. The second day was forecast to be a marathon in itself, getting underway at 3:30 AM with the start of the first gravel event of the weekend, the Laser Century Gravel Journey. The Scott Marathon track challenged all its participants in the depths of the Yemena Valley area. The first few kilometers served to stretch the group out before they embarked on some hard climbs and some spectacular descents. 1,600 meters of elevation gain and 70 kilometers of authentic mountain biking. Almost 1,000 bikers set out to complete a tough but magnificent course as part of the UCI Marathon Series.
¿no? Aquí en la Otter, una carrera de bike marathon, este año en Busi. Venimos en un estado de forma muy bueno, ya que venimos todo el año, ¿no? Peleando un poco todas las carreras de larga distancia, y así que venimos con buenas sensaciones de hacerlo bien.
El objetivo que tengo hoy es lo mismo de siempre, hacerlo lo mejor, y bueno, como dices, antes ya gané la primera, si puedo estar en la disputa por esta, mejor.
On the first climb, the large group broke up, leaving 5 cyclists in front. However, the race was not decided until a particularly technical trail, which Becking took advantage of to take the lead, despite attempts by Morcillo and Esteban to draw level. Needless to say, the Dutch champion didn't come unstuck and wound up with a prestigious victory.
Well, it was very hard today. With this temperature, for me it's incredible hard, but the first half hour I didn't feel very well. The group went very fast and some attacks, and yeah, I was a bit nervous. And then in the big climb I started to feel the legs very well, and I could enter first in the downhill, and I knew it from training. It's very technical and you have to be 100% focused. So I did it fast but not on the limit, so I didn't race to have a puncture, and I could keep the small gap after the big downhill. And then I just went full gas to the finish, and I'm happy I made it. It's the first World Series victory for me, so I'm very happy.
For the women, the German rider Bettina Janus stood out from the beginning and arrived at the finish line way out ahead.
Yeah, the race was pretty good for me, but I had 2 flat tires, or I had to stop two times to push air in my front wheel, and so it was a little bit. Yeah, I didn't know how much is the gap, and so you never can be sure if you did it to the finish line or not. But it was, yeah, my legs was pretty good, and yeah, I'm happy.
Becking finally managed to get more than a minute's advantage over Morcillo, whilst Francisco Guerra and Alberto Losada completed the top 5. In the women's category, Janus managed to extend a lead of more than 10 minutes over Ramona Gabriel, whilst the podium was rounded off by the Belgian rider Claren. A packed-out morning at the festival finally came to an end with the offbeat Brompton World Championship.
I'm an ex-professional cyclist, and I work with Brompton. We created a range called the Chapter 3 range, which is the racing Bromptons. So obviously, as the owner of Chapter 3, I'm here to race the Brompton Chapter 3.
The race consisted of 12 laps around an oval-shaped course on a Brompton bike. The cycling festival also included activities for children, including the Mini DH, the Mini Push Bike, and the trial by Danny Comas. As ever, having fun is a key feature of Otter Europe. Cycling past and present was also catered for at the festival, with the Bicycle Museum and the MTB Classic Race, in which spectators were able to catch a glimpse of retro bicycles in action. However, 2 of Saturday's most hotly anticipated events were still to come. The Women's Super Cup Massey and the Criterium in tribute to former professional cyclist Albert Losada. The biggest favourites for the event were the reigning French champion Pauline Ferrand-Prévot and the young riders Rocío del Alba and Laura Stigger. From the word go, Ferrand-Prévot, Del Alba and Stigger set a high pace before breaking away from the rest of the cyclists. The Spanish cyclist was the first to drop behind. However, the duel between Stigger and Ferrand-Prévot was not to be decided until the last few metres, with the young Austrian cyclist eventually clinching what was a very memorable victory.
It was very good. I felt very good at the start and keep on pushing, and had a lot of fun racing with stars like Pauline, and yeah, it was a really hard fight until the finish line, and I really felt good, and I'm super happy about the victory here in Girona.
Isaura and Galicia rounded off the top 5 of a frenetic and vibrant race, with tight margins between the riders vying for the top spot. With the results from the 4th event, Che Figueras became the leader of the Super Cup Massey, with a very small gap between her and McConnell. All eyes are now on the Vinord race, which will decide who comes out on top. Meanwhile, in the thick of the action at the festival, visitors were still making the most of Demo Bike and the E-Speed circuit by iBike, the perfect circuit for test riding electric bicycles. The second day drew to a close with one of the most emotional moments of the weekend. The Criterium, in honour of the ex-professional rider Alberto Losada.
Una miqueta nerviós, no? Emocionat i amb moltes ganes. S'està omplint de gent i la veritat que és un homenatge que fa moltíssima il·lusió, és el reconeixement a tota la meva vida esportiva i bueno, tinc aquí tota la gent que està al meu costat i moltes ganes, la veritat.
Which saw great cycling stars and friends come together. The best way to close the festival's most jam-packed day. The final day, meanwhile, got underway with the Cyclo Brava. Just under 1,500 cyclists took part in order to enjoy the tour and the wonderful landscapes that it rewarded them with.
Se
trata de, yo creo que esto de sumar kilómetros, de disfrutarlo, es un día, bueno, hará calor, un día muy chulo, conocer aquí que no conozco nada y no sé, pasarlo bien.
Home, la zona de Tossa, tota la costa, és espectacular. La veritat que és un recorregut molt xulo, també l'Empordanet també és molt maco, així que ja et dic que avui disfrutarem.
Low difficulty narrow roads gave the event a special charm. Those opting for the long route got stuck into a stretch with no less than 365 bends, bordering the Costa Brava. After that, they entered the Baix Empordà region, enjoying a stretch of dirt track that ended up captivating everyone with the discovery of small, peaceful villages. Those not familiar with Girona's roads will no doubt be back to enjoy themselves all over again. Taking things in a leisurely manner and savouring every turn and climb is the best reward for cyclists. Meanwhile, the most adventurous riders took part in the Basso Girona gravel ride by BioRacer.
Venimos de Madrid y bueno, estoy aquí porque tenemos stand aquí que trabajamos, somos expositores también, trabajo en una distribuidora. Y nada, hemos estado aquí el fin de semana y saliendo por aquí viendo un poco la feria y hoy hacemos la marcha gravel a disfrutar un poco el domingo.
Another way to traverse the best routes in the Girona region by bicycle. All that was left now was for the great sporting spectacle to arrive in the form of the elite Super Cup Massey race.
Después de las Copas del Mundo venimos en un buen estado de forma. Acaban de ser las dos primeras Copas del Mundo de Nové Mesto y Albstadt, en la que demostramos que tenemos un nivel muy bueno y aquí estamos otro año más y Otter.
Al final el recorrido es un recorrido que yo creo que para acercarlo a la ciudad y a la feria es más el correcto, es muy divertido, muy plano, sí que es cierto que no tiene subidas, pero eso va a hacer que sea una carrera posiblemente donde los corredores, el top 10 vaya muy cerquita y hasta la última vuelta no se decida la carrera en un principio, así que yo creo que como el año pasado será una carrera muy divertida.
The incredible list of first-place riders on the starting grid indicated we were in for an electrifying race. From the outset, the tempo was very high, with no time to breathe at all. Yet, in the middle of the race, the main group remained compact. That is until Samuel Gaze decided to attack. No one was capable of catching him up, and from then on the race was completely broken. The countless laps and the intense heat began to take their toll on the riders, who found it extremely tough to keep up the pace. Behind Gaze, Coloma and Duran were closing the gap on the second group, promising a tight battle on the last few kilometres. New Zealand's Gaze finally reached the finish line to clinch the victory, and behind him, Griot managed to shake off his opponents to take second spot. The excitement never stopped right until the final moment, when Coloma managed to get the better of Couillet on the last corner. What a hair-raiser of a race!
It's insane. This is as big as a World Cup win for me. You know, like the last 3 or 4 months have been like the hardest time of my life, and trying to like get myself back into working order. And you know, it's a long process after a concussion like that, and honestly I expected it to be much longer. It still could be much longer, but for today it worked, and it's a priceless feeling. This is why I do it.
Gaze won with just 14 seconds over Griot. Meanwhile, the Catalan riders Couillet and Duran rounded off the top 5 of a race that could have been so different. Couillet is once again the leader of the Super Cup Massey, and Griot climbs up to second place. Everything will be decided in Vainord, the setting of the last event. This incredibly exciting final brought 3 unbeatable days of cycling to a close.
Pues una vez finalizada la tercera edición de la Otter Europe, sacamos conclusiones muy positivas, sobre todo pues porque hemos conseguido los objetivos que nos habíamos marcado, que era seguir incrementando la capacidad de atraer a diferentes marcas, expositores, y el crecimiento pues, que hemos tenido este año pues, es muy valuoso para nosotros.
The 60,000 visitors from over 50 countries who came to see Otter Europe went away more than satisfied with an incredible weekend of cycling.